Today I'm joined by Brian Clausen from the Ruddy Sailing YouTube channel. Brian shares calm, thoughtful, small boat adventures exploring the lakes and waters of the inland Northwest, showing that you don't need a big boat or distant oceans to find meaningful sailing. In this conversation, we talk about small boat cruising, the places it can take you, and the quiet joy of simply getting out on the water. Yeah, Brian, your videos have a very calm, reflective feel, so I like that a lot. But I would like to know what originally drew you to sailing in the first place. I always like to know what...
I kind of was introduced to sailing later on in life, in my mid-30s. And it started out because I had a job. I'm a contractor and a remodel contractor. Right. And I had a friend who owns a marina, and he was looking for a guy to come down and repair docks. And I knew nothing about sailboats, but I was working on the docks for quite a while, repairing rotten lumber and logs and all kinds of things like that. And just saw the lifestyle, that people were able to live. And, it's a marina with 200 sailboats. It's a sailboat only marina.
Right.
It's just inundated with these beautiful vessels all around me, and I fell in love. So it wasn't long after that I actually met some friends who had a boat in a slip down there that I hadn't seen in like 15 years or something like that.
Right.
And they were like, well, they kind of got the 2-foot-itis thing with boats, and they were stepping up to a bigger one. So they had one for sale, and that ended up becoming our first boat. They talked me into it, and it was a beautiful Balboa 26 trailerable sailboat.
Right.
So that's kind of how we got introduced to it, and met a bunch of awesome people immediately in the marina, and just became a part of the community.
Nice. Yeah, cruisers and sailboaters, and it's always a really good community. So that's always fun to join for sure. And how did you learn? You picked up the boat and you just learned on the fly?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Our first sail, my friends took us out on the Balboa, and it was a very sporty day. We actually ended up, rounding up multiple times. So it was
best way to learn.
Yeah, but that was our very first sail, and then after that, I took it really slow, and we'd go out on really light wind days when there was almost not even enough to push the boat, but just slowly learned from there, kind of self-taught, and then would sail with other people occasionally.
Right. Tell me about your boats. I guess say boats. You had one boat specifically that was in your channel. Now maybe you have foot-itis, right? You've got the Catalina 22 you're restoring it. Tell me about those boats and how you came into those. And
yeah, so we did get the 2-foot-itis, and in the marina we ended up with a 30-foot Erickson 30 Plus, which is our biggest boat we've ever personally owned. But
right.
I really fell in love with these smaller boats, and it became my passion. So we got out of that, and we actually downsized. And
yeah, I went the same route, so that's great.
Yeah. So the main boat we have is a Newport 16 that's called the Ruddy Duck.
Yeah,
and that I love the boat. It's one that I think I'll have hopefully for my lifetime.
Right. But
it's the main one that we will take on adventures, and it's really easily accessible to haul it, like to the coast, other lakes, rivers, really take it anywhere. But I can't turn down a good project, especially being like a remodel contractor guy.
Yeah.
It's in my blood to take things that are kind of old and crusty and make them nice. Right. So we ended up with a Catalina 22 that my buddy was getting rid of. And it was, full of water and moldy and just kind of gross. But that's been our latest project. And I still work at the marina, so I've been keeping the boat there for, this restoration project, and also so we could just go sailing after work or take friends and do that sort of thing. So technically we're sailing two boats, but in two different ways.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. The small boat sailing is definitely, different because you're not stuck at a marina. Well, not that you're stuck, but, you have much more cruising ground open, right? So that's the advantages you see with the small boats.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, learning to sail on that particular lake, it's Lake Ponderay. It's an awesome lake and there's lots of places to explore, but eventually you run out of things to do and you find yourself, doing the same thing over and over again. So with the small boat, it really affords you the ability to explore new areas and really, maximize your vacation time by seeing other places, new experiences.
And you've done that. Tell us about some of the places you've explored and some of your favorites. And you go alone. That's a lot of questions. You go alone too, but you also go in groups as well. I see that.
Yeah. Yeah. We've gone, I try to visit a lot of new places, but we've gone with groups. One of our favorite group camps and this is on one of my videos, but we went up to Upper Priest Lake, and that's actually the place that got us into filming in the first place, just because it's, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's a very remote lake that's accessed by a 2-mile long thoroughfare, or like a really slow moving river.
Right.
And all along the sides, there's no roads or any other access besides boat or hiking trails. So,
right.
That would be one of my favorite trips that we have done a couple of.
Yeah.
And our very first video was that, and documenting our trip up there.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's the one that got me hooked too, because it's the same. I like the wild areas, not cottages everywhere. So yeah, that's the video that I saw. That's great.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's a fun place to explore, and it also has, for Idaho is I wouldn't say rare, but it has nice sandy beaches too that you can, take these small boats and beach them, and it just makes an awesome experience.
Nice, that's great. And and tell us about your YouTube channel. How that started from that, and how that's grown, and what you see in the future with that.
Yeah, it started documenting that trip because it was kind of a big one for us. And we started out just to document it for ourselves and to share with our friends and family. And we put it on YouTube so they could watch that. And it just kind of took off. Other people saw it and liked it.
Nice.
And we liked doing it.
Yeah.
I liked producing the videos and going into sailing with a different mindset of also capturing things while I'm doing it. I just enjoyed the process, and it's kind of grown from there. And we're on this is our third year that we'll be doing it, and trying to, or we feel drawn to keep going and to make it bigger and to try to share this lifestyle with as many people as possible, because it's really inspired us, and I want to inspire as many people to try it as I can. So.
Absolutely. We're talking the same religion. It's all about inspiring people to get out there and, explore a little bit, and not just stay in front of a TV kind of thing. So that's great. Yeah.
Just a little way of giving back, because I feel like I'm pretty blessed to be able to do it myself. So
nice. Good point. I hear there's a story behind the name Ruddy Duck. I don't know what it is, but somebody said, please ask him what the story. It's pretty interesting. So can you fill me in on that?
Yeah, it's really, it comes down to the color of the boat. And I was really into waterfowl for a long time. And there's actually a duck named the Ruddy duck.
Okay.
And he is a really short, stocky duck he has quite the personality. But he's one of the smaller ducks, and his bill is a bright blue color, and that reminded me exactly of the hull color of the Ruddy duck.
Right.
So that's really all it came down to. It's like, that'll fit pretty good. It's a short, stocky little boat with attitude. It's got the right colors. Like, let's do it.
That's a great fit. Totally. I didn't know that. That's great. That's really great.
Yeah.
back to the videos. So your videos are pretty mellow with your kids and so on, which is great to see kids in videos too, that they share and enjoy that too. So was that intentional that you make sure that you see more than one kind of people doing this and, you know?
Yeah, I'd say our videos kind of happen naturally. We don't really plan or try to do anything specifically, but yeah, I mean, what you see on video is what happens, and
right.
It's all natural. We don't try to act or plan or do anything like that. So really, it's about sharing the beauty that I see, which I obviously see, you know, other people enjoying sailing and nature, and I want to share that also. But really, I just document the beauty in the world and try to share it.
Perfect. And what about comments and feedback? What have you gotten from that so far? Have you? I'm sure you've inspired people. Have you heard some of that? And it's great to hear it too, right? So
I have, and that's one of the things really that encourages me to keep doing this. Is I have guys say, you know, you inspired me to get a boat and go sailing with my grandson or my family and do all this, and that's extremely inspiring.
Nice.
To know that other people are able to do it, and that I had a part in just, you know, nudging them in that direction. But yeah, I still, it's crazy. Every other video or so, I get comments from people all around the world, and it blows my mind. I mean, I'll have to use Google Translate, you know, because they're in different languages and all that. So, you know, all over the place, like Japan, Ukraine, China, Australia, Canada. I mean, all over the place. Nice. It just blows my mind that we could be part of a community like that.
Correct.
You know, separated by so far, but you all have the same common goal and interest, and it's just, I don't know, I think it's really cool.
I think it's amazing too. Absolutely. If it wasn't for that, it'd be a lot of us alone doing stuff, and I think that's probably what it was in the older days. But it's nice to be able to connect and see what people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Some of your video talks about resetting the soul. Is that what sailing and that do for you and that?
Yeah, for me specifically, definitely.
Yeah. Getting
out into nature and being on the water, setting sails, all of that is just so good for me. It gets me off my phone, gets me away from the busyness of work and life, and really allows me to just be in the moment. And I really, truly enjoy it, just being on the boat.
Yeah.
And I say it resets my soul because it really just clears my head, and I come away from a trip as a different person. I feel like, I feel like I come back refreshed, and I just can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, I was gonna say I kind of get addicted to that too. You get to shore, it's like, what's the next one? Where am I going? Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. And what do you think sailing? It's a little bit philosophical. We'll get into technical later, but what do you think sailing teaches people about modern life that we tend to forget today?
Yeah, I think probably the biggest one is just being in the moment.
Right.
And focusing, you know, when you're sailing, you're kind of not doing a whole lot, but you also are. You're paying attention to the wind, you're watching the weather, and you're active. But I don't know, it puts you in a different state of mind to where you can just focus on what's going around and kind of push the outside world out. So I would say that would be one of the main ones.
Yeah. Okay. What about the technical side? What cruising gear do you like to have? What is it that you don't want to forget on the dock? And tell a bit about your setup that maybe people can learn from.
Yeah. So my setup is extremely minimalist. I obviously have camera gear that's kind of extraneous, but I would say the number one thing, we kind of sail in a colder climate up here. So my number one piece of gear, I obviously have the boat as shelter.
Right.
I always carry a high quality sleeping bag. You know, if I ever need to get warmed up, that's like the number one thing to have. Obviously food and water, that's the next items.
Right.
Say after that, I gotta have things to make coffee. I have to have my coffee maker. waking up in the morning and enjoying a cup of coffee and looking at the sunrise and out at the water, that's one of my favorite things. So that's another thing I cannot forget that.
Right. Yeah. I do the same. Coffee first thing as I get up. Absolutely.
Yeah. But I would say most of my gear is all backpack oriented. It's very lightweight, very small. Most of it is, is stuff that can get wet. So it's very durable in the marine environment. But yeah, I emphasize lightweight and portability.
Yeah, I agree. I tell people when they ask me that kind of question, I say, look at the backpackers, what they use. And that's really reusable in the small boat world, right? Small, easy. I have multiple too. The beauty, you can have multiple burners just in case one doesn't work, right? Things like that.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. We've used a bunch of different ones. Recently, we got a jet boil, and I've really been enjoying that.
Yeah, I get that. I love that too.
Yeah. But we've used other butane types and also just started a fire on the beach and cooked on that. But the small backpacking stuff is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, and warm. You're right. A warm sleeping bag really matters too. I've been, when we're going cold or when it gets cold at night in Canada, it gets cold in July too sometimes at night. So, sleeping bag is very important for sure. So
yeah, and that's something I took away. I used to do a lot of backcountry hiking and mountaineering in the wintertime, and really that's a survival piece up there. If you get wet or cold, that's the only way to really warm up. So I really take that seriously, having a good bag.
Tell us some of the stories we don't see on there that any challenges you've had or any good stories.
Sure. Yeah. Sailing is full of challenges, and I think it's it's an activity where you're always learning, but yeah, we've definitely learned the hard way a few times. I think we could probably start. I have a story. We used to have a Neptune 16, which is exactly the same as the Ruddy duck.
Right.
A little bit different deck shape, but our very first trip out on that, we launched at a public lake, really close to where we live, and are a public launch. And there's people everywhere, so we're trying to get in and get out of the way quick because there's lots of other bass boats and
fishermen a lot of time. Yeah.
Yeah. So we get in and park the truck and hop in the boat, and it's my wife and one of my kids and I. And we start out on the lake. We just have a little trolling motor, so we're getting out of the area. And we made it about 300 yards. My wife looks in the cabin and says, Brian, there's about a foot of water inside.
Uh-oh.
I turned around real quick, and she hopped down inside the cabin and started bailing. So we're coming into the dock full speed. My wife's bailing water, throwing it over the side, and I'm coming in, and I felt like, I don't know, it kind of embarrassing because everybody's sitting there and they see obviously what's going on.
Yeah.
But, yeah, first trip out, almost sink the boat. It ended up being a keel lock bolt that we didn't even know was there. And, it was our first time kind of testing out the boat. It was just a little bit loose, and it was just gushing water.
Wow. So, right, don't worry, you're not alone. I have a friend, same thing, That's first time out with the boat, and then just look at that water below. Same thing.
Yeah. And that's not we've taken on water on the Ruddy duck also. We had to cancel the trip one time because we had the bow eye was loose, and we were just taking on a lot of water through that. But yeah, sailing is definitely full of challenges, and that's another reason that I love it, is that you're always, facing something new that you got to overcome. And I don't know. makes it not so boring.
Absolutely. So much, so much you learn, so much skills you learn to apply. And you're always thinking, what if this, what are you going to do? Right. So,
yeah. And, I think you learn best from your mistakes. If you make mistakes like that, you're never going to forget it. So it makes you better. Or at least it does for me. I never forget.
No, absolutely.
I can remember every one of my mistakes.
I make a mistake and then I ask somebody for advice and he tells me, and I won't name it. He says, that's because I've made all the same mistakes. So we all learn the same way.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. If someone's getting started, and I'm sure you're getting a lot of comments like that, how do you recommend they start and what should they look for?
Yeah, so getting started, obviously you just got to start. You got to find a boat. And then my biggest recommendation would be to take it slow.
Yeah.
I think sailing is a lifetime of learned skills. You never stop learning as a sailor. So just don't be in a hurry, and things could be frustrating at first, but it gets a lot easier once you get some experience and all that. But everybody starts in a different place. I started in a marina, so I had resources and friends available to help me out. But I would say the biggest thing is just learning by doing.
Right.
Really, just start slow and like I did, go out on a day when the wind is 1 knot or something, and just figure out how the sails go up and down, figure out what all your controls do, and start that way. But really there's a lot of other ways too. There's classes that you can take and all of that.
Correct. What about the boat itself? Is it better to build or restore? I think I know the answer. I'm kind of like you. I'm a restorer, and your hands on it.
Yeah. Well, actually, I've done all three. So,
I've done all three. Okay. Right.
Yeah. And I haven't built a big boat, but we did build a Ozona pram, which is
floating.
And actually, my boys and I built it in our living room. So,
oh, nice. That's great.
Quite the project.
Is that the one from Bedard? Is that the one?
Bedard, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I thought it was a really cool little design, and we got that a few years ago and built it up. But I really, really enjoyed that process, and I could see myself building a bigger one.
Mm-hmm.
But I also enjoy the process. When we got the Ruddy duck, it was pretty rough. Yeah. It also was a very rough boat. It needed rigging replaced, needed work on the mast. Everything was rotten and just pretty bad. So I've taken that and I wouldn't say it's complete all the way, but we're probably 75% of the way through with the restoration on that.
It never ends.
Yeah. But I don't know. I would say that depends really on the person.
Right.
If you have a background in building things, that can be a really, really satisfying way to go.
Yeah.
And you will know your boat inside and out, and every screw that went into it because you put it in there.
Correct.
But I don't know. I lend myself towards more of the restoration end of it.
Right.
And there's a lot of boats out there, especially, in the States. They just built thousands and thousands and thousands of them in the 70s and 80s. Correct. So it's easy to find a fixer-upper down here.
Yeah, that's kind of what I recommend people when they ask is, there's a lot of fiberglass tape Tupperware boats, basically, that you can, it doesn't take that much, it doesn't have to look pretty at first, right? It just, a little bit of available grease, put it back, making sure it doesn't leak. That's the main things, really.
Exactly.
And slowly bring it back. That's really what I recommend, because you're right. There's a lot of hulls available, a lot of times for free, if you look around and ask around. So, it all depends. If you want to put a little bit of work, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, and it's a good way to get out immediately. You get a boat like that and put a few days of work into it, and you're out on the water.
Yeah,
it's really.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in that. So
good way to go.
Yeah. What's the most underrated skill?
Maybe making coffee underway. I don't know.
That's fun.
I have a skill also. I can sail upwind both directions on the trip. So that always seems to happen to me. I'm always beating into it, which I don't mind. I mean, it's nice, but once in a while, I'd like to do a beam reach or a nice downwind sail. So.
That's the sailing gods. I think we have the same gods here. It doesn't matter where I want to go; it's always upwind.
Yeah, exactly.
Although last summer I had a wonderful wing on wing, just the perfect day of sailing. Wing on wing, 15 kilometers in a narrow channel too, and it was
nice.
It was paradise. It doesn't. So yeah, what's your perfect day of sailing then for you?
Perfect day. Really, any day.
Coffee. We get that. Yeah.
I just need to be on the water, pretty much.
Everything's better on the water. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's hard to beat being on going sailing and then ending up on a nice beach somewhere and with friends and have a couple beers. I mean, that you really can't beat that.
Yeah. And going ashore too, doing the fire on the shore kind of thing too. You get.
Yeah.
That's always a good way to end the day. And sleeping on a boat. What do you think about sleeping on a boat?
I sleep the best on my boat.
I know, I'm the same. It's like a baby.
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't know if it's because I'm tired from the day or what it is, but yeah, I fall asleep. Now, it wasn't that way when we had the bigger boats and we were anchored out. I stressed out and I was up all night checking on things.
Yeah, I was exactly the same with the big boat. That's right.
Making sure we weren't dragging or whatever. Yeah, because it seems like the stakes are bigger, but when you're on a small boat, I don't know. I'm just so comfortable in it, and I sleep extremely well.
Yeah. The same.
I would say it's nice to also not be. I like sleeping on anchor occasionally, but being able to be on the beach, it really makes it more stable and you just feel more secure.
I love that too. Yeah, anchor is nice, but yeah, I love to be on the beach too. Oh, you also have a Patreon, I noticed too, so that's great.
Yeah, we just started that up, and I don't know if I mentioned. Yeah, we're really trying to up our production and try to put out more content and more videos. And I think the Patreon is going to help with that. Be a financial way that some of our viewers can help out that way. So. We just started that a couple weeks ago, and it's brand new, and I'm pretty excited about it. I think we'll be able to put out exclusive content on that, and then I hope it will be able to help people, and it'll also help us.
Yeah, you guys are doing great. I mean, you've grown very quickly to 5,000 subscribers or so right now. So that's a great curve, definitely. So
yeah. Yeah, it's been a good experience, and just thank you to everybody who watches our videos. It's really been a good experience for us also.
Yeah, that's great. And what are the plans with the 22? We talked a little bit. I'm just thinking about them. Yeah. What kind of different sailing is gonna? It's still trailerable, so
absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and for the time being, it's going to stay as a marina boat.
Right. So, okay.
So we can take part in some of the Wednesday night races, possibly. And I can also, it's a little bit bigger of a boat, so we can have guests on it also and sail with friends and do that sort of thing. And be able to, like, I still work at the marina, so being able to sail after work. And I think it'll help us to produce more content too, and just keep that going.
Nice.
I want to do more videos on say like how to raise a mast or how to sail.
Yeah, a little bit of technical how to, right?
Yeah, and I think having a boat already in the water ready to go will really help out with that. And right where I'm already at. So that's the goal with that. But I think our main passion is definitely getting out though and going exploring.
That's great.
One of our big goals is making it back to the coast this year. Last year we sailed in the Salish 100, which is just a 100-mile cruise, 7 days, stopping each day.
Nice.
little further north is the San Juan Islands, and ever since I got into sailing, everybody at the marina says this is like the destination.
That's on the list, right? Right.
You got to go sail it. So I'm hoping that's going to work out this year.
Nice.
I have met quite a few people, that have left comments on YouTube that sail that area and gave contacts. So
yeah,
I'm going to have to. I'm hoping to meet up with those guys and do that this year.
Yeah, that sounds like a great area. I've always heard about the San Juan Islands, so definitely. And it
sounds like the same sort of thing. There's just islands everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of there are some small towns, but mostly wild.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Sounds great, and you'll have to film it so you can share it. Absolutely, I know you will. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure meeting you, Brian. Thank you so much for spending time and letting us know about your plans and your channel. It's really great.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. That's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed that one. There's something to be said for keeping sailing simple and just enjoying being out there. If this resonated with you, come join us on the Nano Cruising Facebook group. We've got a great group of people sharing their own journeys, boats, and ideas. You can also hop on the mailing list to stay in the loop for new episodes and extras. If you'd like to support what we're doing, tell everybody about this show and share it. That's really appreciated. And if you want to do more, there's always Patreon. Thanks for listening, and as always, seize your own adventure.
No inches humming, no engine roar, just a little boat and an open shore. Canvas snapping, the kettle's on. World feels big when the boat feels small. We don't need much, just wind and tide, a chart, a compass, and time to ride. Nano cruising, small boats, big seas, long jet dawn. Go where you please, trailer down, mask goes up, freedom fits in a coffee cup. Nano cruising, cast off the rules of their lies in the smallest hulls. Beach for a harbor, stars for a roof, salt on the deck and stories for proof. From quiet creeks to a weathered bay, if it floats, we're on our way. No marina lights, no golden gate, just the pull of wind and the call to wait. Nano horizon, small boats, big seas, oars and sails, and blistered knees, simple gear, honest miles, every nod earned every smile. Nano horizon, no place to hide, just you, the boat, and the turning tide. Keel or dagger, lug or gaff, plans go wrong and we laugh. If you can tow it, if you can row, there's a long way left to go. Nano cruising, small boats, big seas, real adventure, no guarantees. If you've dreamed it, if you dare, there's a ramp somewhere out there.